live from the middle of the woods.
It's us.
It's us. We have a lot of Trump news to tell you today, so get ready. We're gonna party on a boat. They couldn't hold the GOP whatever.
Oh,
So South Carolina.
I heard about those.
In South Carolina, this guy took this boat and put on Facebook there or whatever thing he used, and anyway, he got a bunch of people to come and have a Trump boat parade.
Boat parade is what I heard it called.
But it wasn't a parade like you line up and you go up and down. It
was just people in a line.
No, it just looked like a bunch of boats in a lake. And he said there was 4,000 to 6,000, but it looked more like maybe 400. I don't know. It wasn't full. They weren't like close together or anything like that.
That's amazing.
So, but he had a parade. Yay! That was the most exciting news that we had.
She's had a lot of coffee this morning. Excuse her.
Yeah, took my vitamins, y'all. Okay. Oh, there's a car going by, so you'll have to wait a second. Blah, da, 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 da.
Anyway, just go.
Okay. Anyway, Trump this week was very busy, unusually. You know, maybe he found a portable TV or something to carry with him.
Yeah, it's called your phone.
What? No, he's not that technological. Anyway, besides, he has to see it on the big screen.
He's more technological than me because I don't know how to work Twitter.
Please, do you think he does that himself?
No.
He tells. Well, anyway.
Anyway, we don't have that much time.
Okay. He signed an act that covered several things. So it covered Based Immigration Act. I'm not sure what that means. We're still looking into that.
Yeah, because I don't understand it at all.
It's really kind of complicated, so we're still looking into that. But it's let's see. Oh, my notes are all jumbled. Sorry.
Base immigration.
He basically took and I wanted you to see this, but we didn't have enough time to watch it because it was so long. He basically took the Rose Garden and decided to hold a Trump rally. And he called a bunch of reporters together, and basically some of them called it rambling for, you know, what seemed to be hours to them, but was about an hour. Some of them called it like a long run-on sentence that wouldn't stop.
Because do you think he knows how to break up sentence?
Yeah. Some of them just called it...
It's legit a Thursday. Why are there so many people?
I have no idea.
We're in the middle of the woods. This is...
Anyway, he said a lot. Some of them were calling it just the rambling of a madman. Madman. Basically, he talked about this Immigration Act, and then he talked about, well, he started, I guess, off with China, and then the tariffs that he was adding to China, and then he went to the Immigration Act. And then, like, he would separate, he's separating China and Hong Kong, and he's putting tariffs on Hong Kong now, and
because
China.
he finally understood that they're two separate countries?
I don't think he understands that. But he understands it enough to where it can be more money paid out. So he still doesn't
understand?
He still doesn't understand how tariffs work. No.
Does he understand that when you do that,
it causes us to pay more?
It just makes our taxes higher.
But he doesn't get that. So he also covered the boat thing for him, of course, because
it's about him.
It's about him. So he just would go from one thing to another thing, to another thing, to another thing, to another thing, and didn't make a whole lot of sense about any of it. I'm not sure he understood how anything works. How anything works. He did wear a mask one time this week at a hospital, but he's in the Rose Garden. He did not have a mask on.
Well, I can kind of understand that because, like, if I know they said now, like, even outside you can get it, because the air and stuff.
Carries.
But I'm like, the reporters are distanced away from him. I understand, like, to fully hear him.
Yeah.
Because his dentures and all that.
Yeah. Clackety clack. But, so, yeah, he didn't really have a full grasp on everything. Oh, and he was very upset that, people were getting it wrong that he was, lower than Joe Biden. He, he is not, he said that he was not lower than Joe Biden, that in the polls it shows that he's above Joe Biden and that he's going to win this next election and blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. Okay, moving on.
News. We've been talking about this, we've been filming for like...
Okay, moving on. It's still on the government, but Senator Perdue went, a senator from Georgia, went on to say that he was asked about how they were planning on helping relieve some of the damage from the C word. And he said that they had already given out a few $1 trillion and people were just like being lazy and just taking advantage of this, and how, they needed to live on those few $100s that they got, a few months ago. Spare it, $1 a day or some stuff.
It's not cheap to live in Georgia. It's not expensive.
Well, anywhere in the United States. So, he said that the government has made...
Let's give him $100. Say, live on this for 3 months.
Oh, he couldn't even eat on that for one meal. Anyway, we do not support Perdue chicken or eggs. Anyway, he said they made 7 million new jobs. Okay, that sounds exciting. Where are they? There's a website that you can go to, and I'm not putting this on the channel, so go find it yourself. It is out there, but I'm not supporting it. I went on there, and it's, you can, where you made, $100,000 a year, you can make $20,000 a year in this new job. Yes, there are jobs out there, but if you have a mortgage payment of, say, $3,000, or even, okay, let's just lower it down to $500. You have a mortgage payment of $500. You're buying your home. This is your home that you've lived in for 10 years and you've been paying on for 10 years. And they expect you to live on $1,200 a month.
I'm sorry.
That's paying
Also,
your bills, buying your food for your kids, paying your electric. You know, people are having to say, well, do we need lights or do we need to eat? And God forbid you don't get COVID. I mean, the C word. Because
I think they're allowing people to say it now.
Well, I don't care. God forbid if you get sick, because you have to pay for that too.
Yeah, because in America we don't.
Yeah, we don't have free health care to just willy-nilly go. You know, if you were making $100,000 last year, you don't qualify for food stamps and welfare and all this.
The thing that I have a problem with is the jobs that they're providing aren't jobs that everyone can have. I have no medical experience. I took a 15-minute course in high school for CPR. That's about it. I'm not going to be able to be a medical technician, because I saw that was one of the jobs.
Yes,
that they want people to have. I can't go and be a medical technician. You have to go to school for so long in order to do that.
Most of the jobs in the medical field, they are like rushing you through. If you want to be a nurse's assistant, you can go and be a nurse's assistant in like 2 weeks or something. If you want to be an RN, they're rushing you through the process of getting into school and getting that done. Or, you know, and I've heard of some places we're doing on-the-job training.
Yeah.
Like psychologists were on the list.
I'm sorry, but
you know,
clinical psychology, as someone who actually studies psychology, it's very difficult. I don't study it for like school or anything like that. I'm just weird. It's very difficult to understand. And okay, if you're a clinical psychologist, that means you're diagnosing people. And if I diagnose her with bipolar schizophrenia and I say she needs medication for this, and I give her that medication, but that's not what she actually has, she could die or something. Like, some serious things can happen.
Well, it's just it's an unrealistic list of, and it's a pep talk of, oh, Ivanka Trump.
And also, coding is hard.
Ivanka Trump is like, you know, saying, oh, we want this to happen. And most of the jobs on there are coding. And yeah, it's just sitting there putting things into a computer, and you can do that at home. But number one,
not everyone has internet.
If you can't afford to pay your rent, you're not going to be able to afford internet.
Or a computer.
Or a computer to do these jobs. And they're not giving them away. You know,
they're not going to pay you enough to be able to afford it.
I saw on there that there are loans you can get. You know, and some you might qualify for Pell Grant. Well, the stimulus checks aren't going to be, and supposedly because the Republicans say that people are being lazy and they're not trying to get out and get jobs.
Because it's a pandemic. We're not supposed to be outside, you stupid.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, okay, in certain states, people aren't even wearing masks. People aren't even, like, trying.
Or what I find funny is one person's wearing a mask, like you see a couple, and like the girl's wearing a mask and the boy's not, and it's like, it's not it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Or the parents are wearing a mask and then their little baby's not wearing a mask. I understand making kids wear masks is hard because, you know, they don't want to be wearing that on their face.
Yeah.
But like, don't take your kid outside or force it.
Well, there's other ways you can do a baby.
I didn't mean it like
like you can cover the baby up.
No, I'm talking. I saw a 3-year-old little boy running around with no mask on, and both his parents are wearing PPE masks.
Well, the reason being, I asked someone, and they said, well, my child can't get it. No, your child can be a carrier. They may not get sick, but they can.
Your grandma dies.
They can carry it into, you know. It can happen. I am not going to get into all that. We'll make another one of those. But getting back to CDC, the CDC. All right, yesterday.
This will be the last one.
Yesterday, this is real quick. Yesterday, I was informed by everyone. A good explanation about this is Philip DeFranco. If you want to go to Philip DeFranco's yesterday's show, it should have it on there.
I'll put the date. So
yeah.
I don't know what today's date is.
But the CDC now doesn't have control over our medical records like for COVID-19. It's all being sent to the U.S. Health Organization, which is like our health departments and things like that. The office is in, I think, Pennsylvania. And
by the way, this is me stress eating over this.
They're sending it to Pennsylvania, and they said, as far as I know, it's supposed to be easier for everyone to, like, your doctor can get your medical records. The CDC was supposed to be a part of it, and everywhere. It's supposed to make it easier because it'll be digitally available, which means Russia has it too. But as far as I know now, like today, the CDC doesn't have access to it. Everyone was worried about him doing this, Trump being him, doing this because, you know, he's really worried about numbers. He's really worried about, because this is holding his election back. He's really worried about, you know, the more people that get tested and show positive, that ruins his chance.
The worse he looks.
You know, he doesn't look good.
Because the millions of people that are dying doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're dying. He just doesn't want everybody to know you're dying. So, or even, like, he doesn't even want how many people are actually sick. He doesn't want that out there. So, everyone's assuming that this is what has happened. The CDC had to turn those records over and stuff. So, and hospitals are having to do this because it's law. But now we aren't going to know an accurate number of what state is, you know, has the most virus, you know, is the sickest. You know, we are travelers, so we look at the statistics before we go into a state, because, you know, I have a child that, you know, can't be around a lot of sick people, so therefore, you know, this is his way of living and not having to be isolated all the time.
Yeah.
He has very bad lungs, and, you know, he's able to get out and enjoy himself without having to be in a cage or in a box.
I was gonna say, be in a cage sounds kind of...
Yeah, but anyway, so we count on those statistics to know where we're going next, to know how we're, you know, going to be able to keep him safe. And now we're not going to have those. And
just kind of have to guess.
So we'll just have to depend on the old statistics and looking around, and if we don't see a lot of masks, then we're outie. So we love you.
This was a long video.
Yeah, and sorry about that. We will talk to you next time.
Bye. Sorry I ate through the whole